Tank battles in the Himalayan mountains. Indian T-90 tanks faces Chinese armor. India has deployed its Russian-made T-90 tanks against the Chinese forces in the disputed border region of Ladakh. But moving 45-ton tanks in the mountainous region with poor roads and bridges comes with its own challenges. The Indian armor has been stationed at the desolate outpost of DBO, which lies at an altitude of 16,000 feet and features one of the world's highest airfields. The outpost is a few miles from the Chinese border and just south of the strategic Karakoram Pass, which India fears could be an invasion route for Chinese troops occupying the Aksai Chin area. With the Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) deploying close to 50,000 troops in Aksai Chin, the Indian Army for the first time has deployed a squadron of T-90 missile firing tanks. And also, along with the armored personnel carriers (APCs) and a full troop brigades of about 4,000 men at DBO to prevent any Chinese aggression. While tempers appears to have cooled somewhat as Chinese and Indian troops disengage, both sides have sent in reinforcement. Significantly, Chinese and Indians are sending tanks to the Himalayas, a vast mountain region that includes Mount Everest and a harsh climate also. China has deployed the Type 15 light tanks, a 30-ton vehicle armed with a 105mm cannon that can fire shells and anti-tank guided missiles. China, on the other hand, claims that its 1000 horsepower diesel coupled with the Type 15's relatively light tanks will make the tank handy in mountainous terrain. With a powerful engine, the Type 15 light tanks can effectively operate in plateau region, difficult for heavier tanks indeed. And with its advanced fire control system and 105mm caliber armor-piercing main gun, it can outgun any other light armor vehicle at high elevation, says the Chinese media. Though lighter than the 70-ton US Abraham tanks or the Russia's 45-ton T-90 main battle tanks, essentially the modernized Cold War T-72 is significantly heavier than the Type 15. Its 105mm cannon can fire shells as well as AT-11 anti-tank guided missiles as well. Its defensive gear includes contact fire, explosive armor, and the Shatura infrared jamming system to stop incoming anti-tank guided missiles. While Chinese Type 15s have yet to see combat, Russian T-90s have fought in Syria, with at least one being badly damaged by a US-made Tau anti-tank missiles, which was fired by the Syrian rebels. India has customized its variant, the T-90's Bhishma, with non-Russian gears such as the French thermal imaging system. The Type 15's lightweight may enable it to use roads and bridges that the T-90 can't. On the other hand, India's 1000 T-90s have superior firepower and armor protection. Many Asian think tanks and the global leaders in the defense industries believes that Indian T-90s are there as a warning to Beijing that Chinese territory is vulnerable to an Indian counteroffensive. They are not there to defend Indian territory but to threaten the Chinese territory just in case. This is and has long been Indian doctrine to threaten a punishing riposte against China. And of course, this is a bargaining chip against China in the process of disengagement and the negotiations taking place between both the countries. The Ladakh itself is one of the most difficult places on earth for tanks to operate. The thin air and temperature in the region can plunge to 50 degrees below zero. But even in the mountains, tanks still offer something unique. A big, heavily armored mobile cannon that can deliver far more superior firepower than what a foot soldier can carry on his back. Modern vehicles like the T-90s also have thermal sights and other advanced sensors to spot targets at night and even in the fog. While there will be no surprise with the armored vehicles, the tanks can provide invaluable fire support to the infantry. On the other hand, in restricted terrains, tanks will need the infantry to protect them from man-portable anti-tank rockets, which can be fired from the hilltops. Should more clashes erupt in Ladakh, the Type 15s may occasionally battle T-90s, but in the Himalayan mountains, nicknamed the roof of the world, the biggest danger to Chinese and the Indian tanks isn't the enemy, it's the climate. But of course, Indian soldiers and the Indian personnel are well trained than the Chinese troops. It's a clear message from India to China. Will China read it well, or once again they will be misled due to their expansionist strategy and their foolishness? India is not the same of the 1962s. India is prepared and fully armed to give a befitting, jaw-breaking reply to the Chinese dragon. Once again, thank you for listening to IFA News. Kindly subscribe to my channel and we will be back with another very important update. Jai Hind.